me take your time to say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9 on the FM dial. Good morning also to the viewers of GBN TV, whether you're viewing Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20. Good morning. Our social media audience. We know we have you there with us. Those of you of our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, good morning to you and welcome. It's to the point. It's Friday, the 23rd day of May. 2025. Good morning to you once again. I'm your host, GT. With me this morning, we have some folks representing, of course, the Human Resource Development Division. That's within the Ministry of Education, right?
Yes.
I hope I got that right. Good. So we have with us this morning, of course, that's Mrs. Yvonne Richards School with us this morning. And also, we have also Miss Cazelle Gilbert. Of course, good morning to both of you and welcome. How are you guys doing this morning? Hope all is well. Good morning to you, ladies.
Morning, GT. I am very honored to be here this morning, and to the listening and viewing audience, I want to say a pleasant morning.
All right. It's good to hear somebody say they're honored to be here.
Yes.
You don't always hear someone say that.
I am honored because it is my first time.
It's your first time. Oh, you're making your debut appearance on the program.
It's my baptism today.
All right. So good morning also, of course, Ms. Gilbert. How are you doing this morning?
I am wonderful, and it's a privilege to be here, and it's also my christening.
Yeah. So for both individuals are making their debut appearance onto the point. You're certainly welcome. And I know it wouldn't be your last appearance.
We certainly hope not.
Well,
yes.
All right. So our main conversation this morning will deal a lot on, of course, the functioning of the Human, of course, Resource Development Division within the Ministry of Education. And, you know, some folks may see it as the scholarship desk, as they will call it. I do say it. We give it a little more. I mean, we want to open up on it a little bit more, its functions and everything like that. So my question to get started this morning. Now, the Human Resource Development Division, that's within the Ministry of Education. Talk to me about that particularly. Its core functions and everything. Maybe there's someone who heard about it, but don't know how it functions and what it's really about. Tell us a wee bit about that.
I am very happy to share. Now, the Human Resource Development Division came into being in 2008, and the main objectives at that time was to provide information on scholarship opportunities and to process scholarship.
Okay.
Over the years, we find that we've been doing much more than just processing scholarship. We give a lot of career guidance. We develop policies and strategies for outreach. This being one of the our outreach strategy, our presence here today.
Okay, great,
yes.
Great.
And we also try to source additional scholarships and work along with government's collaboration from other institutions and agencies and countries to process and to ensure that lots of Grenadian nationals receive those opportunities so that they can develop themselves and Grenada. So, for example, today I would love to speak about the new initiative of government, which is the first generation scholarship.
Yes.
With collaboration with the Mono University. So that's one of them. So our unit previously called the scholarship desk. Yes, we do that, but we do much more than that.
Yeah.
So we would love to be referred to as the Human Resource Development Unit or the Human Resource Development Division, which the scholarship desk is a part of, because of the amount of things that we have to do, which includes processing, ensuring that people have what they need to have, collaborating with other institutions and agencies, and of course providing the information that's out there.
All right.
That needs to be out there.
All right, great to hear that, because you know, more or less for some say, I'm going down to the Ministry of Education, but I go into the scholarship desk. And you say, you know, I like that you emphasize on that a whole lot. You know, it's more than just offering folks a scholarship. You know, there's much more that you offer. much more you offer. So besides the scholarship, let's put that aside, but we will get back to that. What are some of the other, of course, that the department actually offers? What else do they really?
Well, as I shared before, we offer a lot of career guidance. Career guidance, because some of our clients who come to us, they're unsure of what they would like to pursue. They're unsure of what subjects they should be pursuing if they want to pursue a particular career.
Okay.
And we try to provide information and guide clients and students, well, mainly students, for the guidance. Most of the adults who do come to us, fortunately, they know what they want to do, although we have a small percentage who still are unsure of the path that they should take. So we help people in terms of their career path.
So just not to cut you, but someone may say, well, let me go down to the human resource development and find out what's available for me as a youngster, just getting out of maybe tertiary institution or whatever. I haven't got a job yet, but they're thinking but further in their education level. They come to you and they said, well, tell me what's available out there. That's what the direction you take.
That's the direction we take. And then we will share with them what is available. Once they share with us what their career path.
Okay, understandable. So I may want to be into IT. I want to get into agriculture. I want to be whatever engineering, whatever they may want to be.
And then we share with them, these are the areas we have. And I want to jump a bit now, because additionally, we have created a mailing list.
Okay.
We like to call it our VIP list.
All right.
Our VIP list. That's part of our outreach strategy. And we get information from clients. There is a link that they will have to go on and fill in some information, forward it to us.
Okay.
Then the email address goes on our mailing list, and as soon as we have scholarships in the particular area that they have interest in, we send out that information directly to them.
They will be
the first to receive that information. That's the reason why we call them our VIP.
Okay.
Our VIP clients. Yes.
So. All right. Now let's get into a wee bit in this first segment, the process of someone, of course, wanting to get a scholarship, wants to understand what do I do, what my do's and don'ts in the entire process. Let's get that.
That's where Miss Gilbert.
So I would like to talk about the supporting documents that will normally accompany the scholarship application form. But first, persons need to request a scholarship application from the Human Resource Development Division. And on the scholarship application form, you have all the requirements that are needed, including the documents that you need to submit.
Okay.
For example, you need to submit your birth certificate, your birth certificate.
We ain't dead yet. I haven't died yet.
But it has to be certified.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you can certify your birth certificate, your academic certificates as well.
Okay.
Your passport biodata page through the examinations unit, preferably the examination unit.
Okay.
The person also have the option to go to the Supreme Court registry, get it done by the JP as well as a lawyer. But we more prefer that you come to our examinations unit to get your documents certified.
Okay, great.
But when it comes to the certification of these documents, you must present your original document.
Okay.
So you have to make copies of the original document, and you need to present both the original document as well as the copies, so that the examining officer can certify it for you, and then you carry it over to our unit.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great.
Another thing that persons need to take into consideration is the essay, the 500-word essay. That is where you are going to tell us what your area of interest, your field of study, how it's going to contribute towards your personal growth, how it's going to contribute towards the future development of Grenada. So having an essay accompanied with your scholarship application form is also one of our requirements.
And that is a must.
That is a must, along with your CV. You also need to have an acceptance letter from the university that you would like to study from. right?
So there are some pre-processes that you have to go through even before you come to the of course, to the Human Resources and Scholarship Desk, let's say. So you must apply to a college first.
Yes.
You do that. You get, of course, accepted. Then they come to you, and the necessary arrangement has been made now in terms of if there's a scholarship available for that particular institution you want to attend.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Monica?
Yes, you also have to accompany the scholarship application form with reference letters.
Okay.
One from your employer if you are employed, as well as one from a reputable community, someone from your community.
Right.
If the person is unemployed, then we would advise you to have 2 reference letters from someone who is reputable from your community as well.
All right.
And also the official transcript from your institution in terms of your last place where you went and studied.
Okay.
Yes, you also have to have that sent to our division as well.
All right. So but it still doesn't stop there, right?
No, it doesn't. That is just the beginning.
The pre-stage of it. All right.
Yes.
All right.
And once all the documents comes in, what we are going to do, we're going to ensure that your supporting document matches what you have on your scholarship.
So some verification has to take place there.
Yes.
All right.
It has to be vetted properly.
How long usually a process of that takes? How long do a process of that nature take?
That will be dependent on the amount of application that comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll have to cut it.
Well, let's go, because I usually do it in that discussion.
Yes, dependent on the amount of applications that you receive, and also there's a deadline by which every scholarship has a deadline.
Okay.
If people notice on the announcement, there's a deadline on every scholarship announcement. That deadline is to allow for the division to process.
Okay.
And processing entails a number of things, which includes calling in the scholarship selection panel, which is an independent body appointed by cabinet that will come in to peruse documents, scholarship application packages, and they will shortlist and they will interview most of the time. Sometimes they don't, and when they don't is because the amount of application that's received by the division is the amount of scholarships that are available once they are eligible.
Okay.
And eligibility will include persons having the GPA requirement, which is at 3.0 and above.
Okay.
So sometimes a process may not include interview. And the reason being, the amount of eligible candidates is the amount of scholarships available.
So there's no need for interview. So you just, if you are accepted, and once the scholarship, of course, is processed, then you do the necessary take place.
Certainly.
All right. We're due for our first break. Let's take it when we come back. We continue with the discussion here. It's Classic Radio, to the point. We'll be right back after the break, folks. Don't touch it out.
Sporting fans, ready yourselves for the most anticipated Winston Tide games, June 7th and 8th at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come support our athletes as they compete with some of the region's best in the field events and on the tracks. Save the date, June 7th and June 8th, Winston Tide games at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Stay tuned for more info. Winston Tide Game 2025.
Grenada, the road to greatness continues. Catch the senior men's national team live at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium for 2 thrilling football clashes. Saturday, May 31st, it's a fiery international friendly as Grenada takes on Anguilla, just $20 admission. Then on Wednesday, June 4, it's our FIFA World Cup qualifier versus the Bahamas, $25 admission. Both matches kick off at 7 p.m. sharp. Come dressed, come loud, come proud. Style your national team, bring your posters, and show the world you are the 12th man. Let's pack the stadium, flood the stands, and roar together. Get your tickets now at the official GFA ticket outlets. Go to Fed.com or at the gate. Let's stand proud with Team Grenada. One island, one team, one goal.
Get ready, Grenada? The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again. It's to the point for today, Friday, the 23rd of May. With us this morning, we have, of course, folks representing the Human Resource Development Division. That's within the Ministry of Education. And we're talking about, yes, the scholarship desk. To a point. To a point about that. Now, of course, Ms. Gilbert did spoke about the application, how folks make the application and apply it after they've done, and the whole after they have been accepted by a particular college and so forth. Now, I want to talk about the selection process. How does that function? How that happens in a normal way of saying it. When someone is selected, where does it go from there?
GT, I'm happy for this question because I know a lot of our clients and even persons who are not our clients always curious about this process, and people always ask how long the process will take. Now the process varies. The duration of the process will vary depending on the type of scholarship that is being offered. So I will generally give what happens during processing, what entails during processing. So at the division, we receive applications from clients. When applications are received, persons come to drop in their stuff. There is a checklist that every member from the division knows how to process. So the checklist will tell the name of the program, what the requirements are, the list of the requirements that Ms. Gilbert discussed, the birth certificate, biodata page of the passport, and this is to ensure that you're a Grenadian national. All these scholarships that we are discussing now, they are for Grenadian nationals only. So you may be a Grenadian by birth, or you may be Grenadian through citizenship, or you may be living here or married, or you have a Grenadian, but you must have either a Grenadian passport, citizenship paper, or your birth certificate. That is to ensure first off that you are a Grenadian national. Once that happens, then the process can continue. Without that, the process cannot go forward. Because we do not know if you are a Grenadian. You must be a Grenadian national. That's the first thing.
But doesn't that tap in when you make an application? Because you said, I remember Ms. Gilbert mentioned, or you did mention the birth certificate and all these things.
But some persons still don't bring in those things, and they ask why they need to bring that in. You need to bring that in because we at the division need to ensure that you are a Grenadian national. And the only how we can ensure that you are a Grenadian national is by presenting those documents. And added to that, whatever you present on your scholarship application form must be followed up by some evidence. So if I say on my form that I have 6 subjects, I must then present the certificate that says that shows that I have 6 CC. I can't take your word for it because you write it on paper, because anybody could write that on paper.
So true.
Including your essay. People bring their essay and they just type up some things on a sheet and they bring it. And I look at it and I see no name, and I look and I say to them, whose is this? And they say it is mine. And I say to them, do you do this when you're at school? Or do you do an essay? And they say no. I say, okay, so you do it the same way that you do it at school. Because bear in mind, we collect lots of applications. For example, one application, as we speak, have over 100 applicants. We have them in files. We try to do at least 20 in a file so that the file don't get too bulky. But remember, with human error, accidents, everything, sometimes the file might fall. And if the file should fall, God forbid, and everything scatter on the floor, and we try to put it back together, and there is an essay that does not have a name, where do we put it?
GT on mix with Miss Gilbert.
Exactly. So GT essay might end up on Miss Gilbert file.
I understand.
So to prevent those things from happening, we encourage people to ensure that your name is on. So the vetting, part of the process at the division, is that we have to ensure that every application package, every person's application package must have the same things. They must have signed documents. They must have certified documents. We must ensure that they have the birth certificate or the biodata passport page, because I might born in St. Lucia, but live in Grenada for a number of years and receive my Grenadian passport.
Yes.
Now, if you present a St. Lucian birth certificate, now I will have to ask you a question, because I have not seen a Grenadian document. You must present both. Sometimes you present one because I born in Grenada, so I can present my birth certificate. That will suffice.
Okay.
But if I was born in St. Lucia and I get a Grenadian passport, I have to present both.
All right.
Yes? So we ensure that you have all of those things, and when we get all of those things, we enter that information in a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet includes the name of the applicant, the address of the applicant, the the sex, if it is male or female, the date of birth, the academic qualification, what area of study they are applying for, which school they're going to, if they have an acceptance letter or they does not have one yet. And I will segue here to say that the acceptance letter, we have a lot of those problems. Persons say, oh, they did not get an acceptance letter, so they did not bring in the document. For the Lord's sake, when you get all of your documents and you have not received your acceptance letter, still bring in your documents to the division. The acceptance letter is only one piece of document. That can come at a later date.
Okay.
What we need is all the other supporting documents so that we can enter your information in the spreadsheet. So we have to enter, if it's 100 applicants, we enter the 100 applicants.
But this leads me to ask you a question. But shouldn't individuals who want to apply should know of the application of the scholarship that's available first?
All of those information I'm sharing here with you know. I'm glad you're asking this. You're a smart guy.
I'm saying I should know what's available before I apply.
All of that is on the application form. Every scholarship has a specific application form.
Yes.
And the front of the application form gives you detail as to all the documents that you need to submit, and it also tells you the deadline by which you have to submit.
Okay.
And the other thing I want to impress upon our listeners and viewers, when a form tells you submit on or before, I say and remind people that the bigger word is before. So please bring your documents before the deadline.
Okay.
Before the deadline. Before the deadline, I say 3 times. Because if you're missing something, it gives you an opportunity to now go back to get it because you have sufficient time. Now, if you wait exactly on the deadline and you come and you're missing a lot of
there's
things,
a back and forth process that takes place.
and you probably will lose an opportunity. Because once that happens, once this spreadsheet is completed, the scholarship selection, the National Selection Training Awards Committee, they are a body that is appointed by cabinet to do selection, to make selection. These people are called in. You have a panel of at least 5.
Yes.
Yes? They will be called in and say, panel, we have this scholarship to process. Say, for example, Cuba. The scholarship is now due for processing. We have X amount of candidates. And they will let us know what is the available time that they can meet and shortlist or meet to interview. Okay. The panel will decide depending on the amount of applicants that we receive. Yes.
And the scholarships that's available.
And the scholarships that are available. Yeah, so every scholarship has that process. If it is Cuba, if it is China, if it's SU, if it's whichever scholarship, the panel will come. But we have to do all the processing before, ensure people have what they need to have, enter the spreadsheet and all of that, and prepare for the further processing, which will entail the shortlisting and interviewing, right? And then the panel comes, they review, peruse documents, and they let us know who they would like to interview. We call that the shortlisting process. So the persons who are most of the time shortlisted are the candidates who will have GPA, grade point averages, from their last school of study of 3.0 and above. 3.0 and above. Because you know what we see? Scholarships are for scholars. So of course your academics have to be at a point. It has to be at a level, and the level must be above the rest because you're a scholar.
So true.
Scholarships are for scholars. So the persons out there who want a scholarship, it means therefore that you have to be performing well academically, because scholarships are for scholars. Remember that.
Agree.
Yes.
Agree. So don't play around with the level that you're at.
Yes, because that is what will get you to the interview stage. You must have a 3.0 and above average. The scholarship panel, of course, will interview other persons without that average, but there are other mitigating circumstances. For example, maybe an adult learner, or maybe somebody who is in a particular field for a number of years and wants to go further, because our division also is about lifelong learning. We learn at different stages, and of course people will want to reskill, retool at different stages in their life. There is no limit to learning. There is no age at which we stop learning.
So true.
Right? So we learn all the time. So the panel will decide, depending on how much applicants are there, the GPAs that are presented, and where the persons are working and that kind of thing, who they would like to interview. They say, oh, this person does not meet the requirement, but we will still like to see them. They let us know that.
And then that conversation has been handled now, and then moving forward. Going
forward, we schedule the date of the interview. We inform the shortlisted candidates you are being invited to attend an interview regarding your scholarship application for whichever scholarship, and this is your date and time of the interview. The panel will meet them, interview. There is a grading process in the interview. So every candidate, every interviewee, when they come in to see the panel will grade. At the end of the interview, they will rank the candidates out of the grading scheme. Out of the grades, they will rank you 1, 2, how much, depending on how many interviewees there were. They rank, and that is a list that is given to us at the division, at which stage we prepare a cabinet submission. The cabinet submission will say the Minister of Education presents to the cabinet this scholarship, and the selection panel has nominated X persons, depending on the amount of scholarships that is available. The X persons now is dependent on the rank order from the interview. So if they interview 10 candidates, but there are 4 scholarships available, numbers 1 to 4 will be those that are presented to cabinet. We say that cabinet, these are the 4 people the panel has selected, and there are supporting documents that go with that, because I want to share this process so that people see that the process is transparent. It is not about the scholarship. We don't give scholarship. There's a process, and we communicate, we facilitate the process. So once the panel says who they're nominating, we say to the cabinet, these are the people the panel nominated, and this is the grades that they have given. So the grades all the grading system, it goes up to cabinet as part of the attachment.
Okay. And your division is not responsible for the grading?
No.
Yeah, of course, there's a particular panel that comes in to take care of that.
The selection panel.
They're the ones taking
They are the ones.
I mean, I just asked that question because maybe someone may feel, well, why am I not getting through?
Yes.
You know, why am I not getting through, or why is that? Or maybe, you know, the school is not putting up my paper.
We have
of approach.
And that is the reason why I'm happy I'm here, GT, because I like to come to say, no, Mrs. Schoon is not the one granting the scholarship. Neither is any one of the officers from the division.
Okay.
Our role at the division is to facilitate the process. We will guide you as to what are the documents you need to have. Yeah. We will guide you as to maybe how you should dress to, because we do a lot of that, the career guidance. Yes. How you should dress to go to the interview, how you should present yourself. Some people come to the interview and they barely want to speak. Okay. The panel has to ask them to repeat. And I say, no, when you go to the interview, yes, I understand nerves, but they are regular people like me and you. I did not know you before. Today is the first time I'm meeting you.
Yes.
So why would I be nervous to chat with you? I will not be nervous to chat with you because I'm talking about scholarship, and I've been doing that for the past decade.
And it's what you do, so you know you're able to respond to whatever they ask of you.
So that's the reason when you ask earlier if we can open the line. Yes, we can open the line because I think I should be capable to answer a few questions, given the fact that I've been there for a number of years, and I think I will be able to fill any question that the public might want answers for.
Of course, once it's around,
this area of scholarship.
We're due for a break. Let's take it over because we have much more to discuss when we come back. Stay with us, folks. To the point here, Classic Radio GBN TV. We will be right back. Don't touch it now.
GBN presents the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, June 7th, Montrouge Plainfield from 11 a.m. Our partners, Maggie, the secret of great flavor, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenada Paper Products, makers of Cherish, Spring Soft, Harbour Bay, and Super Value Toilet Paper, and Royal, Quick and Easy, and Horizon Paper Towels, Budget Foods Inc., Classic Lighting, and Blue Bubbles PA Rental and Event Supplies. It's the 2025 Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules.
Grenada, the road to greatness continues. Catch the senior men's national team live at the Karani James Athletic Stadium for 2 thrilling football clashes. Saturday, May 31st, it's a fiery international friendly as Grenada takes on Anguilla, just $20 admission. Then on Wednesday, June 4, it's our FIFA World Cup qualifier versus the Bahamas, $25 admission. Both matches kick off at 7 p.m. sharp. Come dressed, come loud, come proud. Style your national team, bring your posters, and show the world you are the 12th man. Let's pack the stadium, flood the stands, and roar together. Get your tickets now at the official GFA ticket outlets. Go to Fed.com or at the gate. Let's stand proud with Team Grenada. One island, one team, one goal.
Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, the Grenada Love Story, featuring Robert White and Lisa Grappi, written and directed by Chris DeRiggs.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're harming me.
4 big performances, Saturday 24th and Sunday 25th May at the Grenada Trade Center, Saturday 31st May and Sunday 1st June at Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime 7 p.m. sharp.
He's the love of my life, Auntie. You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Get your tickets at Mitchell's Pharmacy in Grand Anse, Gittins Health and Wellness Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy Pedmata, St. David Pharmacy, St. Andrew Pharmacy, Art and Soul Boutique at Spiceland Mall, 3B's Shoe Store, and go to Fed.com. Breaking Out. Come out and enjoy Grenadian theater at its best.
This ad complements Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
Get ready, Grenada? The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
Welcome back once again, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. Our listeners and viewers out there, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning here on today's edition of To The Point. Once again, welcome back once again. I want you to mention for me, because I know there are probably individuals who are out there listening, viewing, and they want to know in terms of the types of scholarship that's available right now. You know, and the different countries they may have to go for the scholarship or scholarship within the region or even locally. Tell us about those scholarships that's available right now.
Okay, we have a number of scholarships available now. I will list them, and then I want to zero in on a few that I think it's real critical now.
Yeah.
We have Cuba for undergraduate programs and doctors specialization. I will zero in on this after I've listed. We have China for masters. We have SGU for arts and sciences, the undergraduate program, and we also have SGU for the master's program. We also have the economic cost, which is a tuition-only scholarship. It is for the University of the West Indies, that's UWI. However, it only covers persons pursuing study at the main campuses, that of Cave Hill, Barbados, Mona, Jamaica, and St. Augustine, Trinidad. I want to zero in on the Cuba scholarship because for persons who are aware of our information out there, the announcements that we put out, and so would realize that this Cuba scholarship was out, the deadline passed, and then we reopened it. Sometimes we do that when we have not had sufficient applicants. So as is now, I want to appeal to the listening public that we have specialization for doctors. So this now what I'm speaking of, this is for the doctors who have done the medical the Doctor of Medicine degree in Cuba, who have studied in Cuba and who are currently working at the General Hospital. This is for you.
Okay.
There's doctor's specialization available. The doctor's specialization is a 3-year program and it's tenable in Cuba. And the Cuba scholarship covers tuition. It's a full scholarship to a point, yes. But we know that the conditions, and Cuba have asked us to share, that of course with all the embargo and everything else, the conditions in Cuba are not, what we would expect. However, I want to share that we know that the standard of education in terms of medicine is very good and commendable in Cuba. So that is for persons wanting to pursue that studies there, and also for persons wanting to do medicine.
Okay.
We still have some slots available. So if you are interested, you can still apply. And I want to piggyback a little on something Miss Gilbert shared about the having the application, the acceptance letter from the university. Now some scholarships vary. Cuba is one of those that vary, in the sense that the scholarship, the area of study or the university is not chosen by the student. It is chosen by the Cuban authorities.
Okay.
So Cuba will place the candidate in a university. They don't
But
have
would
that
that
option.
be with the same, with whatever they want to go to study?
Yes, the area of study, but it's just that they will choose the university.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the student here do not have to apply to a university as with the other scholarships.
Okay, understandable.
Cuba will place the candidate in a university that provides studies for that program.
So that's where you just will facilitate the process of getting them the scholarship and so forth. But the placement of the university.
The placement of the university is done by the Cuban authorities.
Okay.
So that's a different thing here. And then we have the China scholarship. Now every year we have scholarships from Cuba and China.
Yes.
That's our Cuba, China, and SU. That's our main ones that we can expect every year. We have the OS and the Commonwealth UK as well. Okay. But we will, as you note, we have so much to talk about.
Yes, I know.
That are always
we haven't even talked. We haven't touched the
yes. And I need to talk about Monroe. Right. Always not enough, but we will be back. I am sure we will be back.
All right.
Yes, we have to come back. So we have China that offers various disciplines. We get 3 sets of scholarship from China. So we've done the China Scholarship Council one already. We've processed that one already.
Okay.
Now we have another one which they call the MOFCOM Scholarship. It's only for masters and PhDs. Okay. So this one is open and there are various disciplines. Most of our information, or rather all of our scholarship announcements, through our GIS website and the Ministry of Education's website, Facebook page, as well as all the other media houses, because GIS do send the information out to the other media houses. We put all those announcements. So this China announcement is out.
Okay.
We want persons to avail themselves of the opportunity because it's good. The China scholarship is an excellent scholarship, I can say, because I'm a product of a China scholarship, and I like to sell the China scholarship because I know it is good. I had a really good experience, and I want to encourage persons to do it. The China scholarship is 1 year for the masters or 2 years, depending on the type of program that you are doing. The PhD, I believe, is 3 years. The masters and PhD programs, they are taught in English. Okay. So unlike the undergraduate program where you have to learn the language for a year, you do not have to learn the language for a year with this program.
Okay.
You will have to do a Chinese language course, but it's not learning the language to do the program in the language.
Understand.
Yes, so you get to do it in English. So for those of you who are interested, you can go on our site and get the information, because it's a list of scholarships and a list of universities as well. And there's an online application process that you have to follow. Once you have done that, you submit your documents. You download and submit documents to us. You deliver documents to us at the ministry.
Okay.
Yes, and then the process continues that I shared. The same process that I shared previously that continues after that.
Okay.
We also have the SU Arts and Science Scholarship and the SU Masters Scholarship. With the Arts and Science undergraduate, it's for various disciplines, so people get to choose whichever area they are interested in at SU once it's available at SU.
Okay.
For the master's program, it's for business administration or educational leadership or multi-sector health management or clinical community psychology. Those 4 areas are the areas that are offered for the master's program.
Okay.
And for the SU scholarship covers 100% tuition only.
Because it was leading to questions I wanted to ask in terms of the costing. How does that tuition
only?
And so forth,
100% tuition only. Okay. Once you get a scholarship from the government for SGU, it's for 100% tuition only.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right.
So it does not cover books and any other incidentals. The student will have to cover that.
All right.
tuition.
All right. So what about those for Canada and China? What does the tuition
Canada, this time we do not have any
Sorry, my apologies. It's Cuba, actually.
Cuba scholarship
Cuba
and China scholarship. The students get airline tickets, they get accommodation, they get stipend. There's a stipend component to the China and the Cuba scholarship.
Okay.
Annually, the government of Grenada, at our division, we process annual stipend.
Okay.
So they get a check every year for the duration of the program. In the country as well, they also get a stipend.
Okay.
Yes, so they have that to help them cushion whatever living expenses they will incur.
All right.
Yes, and with the economic costs, which is the UE scholarship, tuition only scholarship, and I like to say tuition only. I will stress tuition only because we have had clients saying to us they did not know that it was tuition only. Yes, it is part tuition only. At Cave Hill, which is in Barbados, it is 66% of the tuition. At Mona, Jamaica, and St. Augustine, Trinidad, it is 80% tuition. So it means, therefore, that someone who is applying for economic costs will have to have some additional funding. You have to have funding for your accommodation. You must have funding for the remaining balance of your tuition, whether it is the 33% for Barbados or the 20% for Trinidad or Mona, Jamaica.
Okay.
You must have that. You must have your other living expenses covered.
Yeah, and your books and translation.
And your books, yes, you must have those things covered.
So you're saying that 33% is on the student, or is it from government? Government will be
from student. So student have to cover that. The government covers 66%.
66%, and that 33 from the student.
Yes, the 33 is the student, and the arrangement is really the governments in the region that fund UE.
Okay.
So every year the government will pay UE a certain amount. So that payment comes from the Ministry of Finance. Yes, so we just send the list. The process is the same as the process for a regular scholarship, but once the students are awarded, we send that to Finance, Ministry of Finance, and say these are the students on economic costs. So then Ministry of Finance now do their part in paying UE and listing the students that are covered.
All right. So that takes care of most of the scholarships that's available right now.
And we have one that is going to come on stream. It should be out Monday or today.
Okay.
Romania is offering undergraduate studies. It's for two areas: veterinary medicine and engineering of plant and animal resources. Okay. Veterinary medicine, I want to stress that one because that's one that we've had a lot of interest in recent times, and we've had limited availability.
Okay.
Meaning the only one we have was for SGU veterinary, and we've only had one offer and sometimes two. So that one is limited, has limited reach from our area. So it will be wise for persons to take up this offer.
For the Romania one?
For Romania. Veterinary medicine and engineering of plant and animal resources.
Okay, great. All right. We drew for a break again, which will be our final break for today's program. When we come back with further discussion, we also give the option for our listeners and viewers. If you do have a question or two you may like to ask of course, my guests, feel free to do so in the next segment. Stay with us, folks. We coming right back here. Stay with us, folks.
a culinary expert like me, okay, I'm joking, I'm not an expert, I'm a novice, or a novice like me, we have the products for you to assist you on your culinary journey. Let us start with the seasoning. This is the foundation. This is where you start. So we have our small sachets here. As you can see, we have chicken, we have fish, we have all-purpose, we have to flavor the pot. Various sizes. We have the shakers here in 125 gram as well in the same flavors. And if you want a larger format, we have it in the 200 gram. Remember, these things will be available at the GBN Maggie King of the Grill, and they're also available at your favorite store or supermarket nationwide.
Get ready, Grenada. The Maggie King of the Grill is back and bigger than ever. On Saturday, June 7th, Monroe's playing field transforms into the ultimate battleground for grill masters. Think you got what it takes? Then fire up those grills and show your skills. Registration closes Friday, April the 11th, so don't miss your chance to compete for that sizzling prize and bragging rights. It's food, fun, and flavor, all powered by Maggie. To register, call 407-8458. Maggie King of the Grill, where flavor rules. See you there.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. To the point, Classic Radio GBN TV. I did mention for this segment, we'll invite our listeners and viewers. If you do have a question or two you may like to ask us guests, feel free to do it. I have one question first. I would like to actually ask you from someone via the WhatsApp who's asking this question, and they're saying that they want you to explain the economic cost in a little bit more details for them.
Okay.
All right, and they asking now. The UE booklet says that the cost for tuition is $100,000, and if I receive 66% economic costs for K-ville, how much they have to pay?
Okay. Thank you for your question. The economic cost, as I shared before, it's a cost that is covered by the government of the contributing government. So it's not only Grenada, there are some other countries that also contribute to UE.
Okay.
Every year there is a certain amount that they budget for UE. Now, the scholarship will cover, and incidentally, the scholarship is only for undergraduate studies.
Okay.
So it's not for masters, it's not for PhD, only undergraduate. It is a percentage of the tuition. That is what the scholarship is. So the government will cover for persons going to, say, St. Augustine, Trinidad, and Mona, Jamaica. The government will cover 80% of the tuition. Cave Hill, Barbados, they will cover 66% of the tuition. And I know sometimes there's a little issue in terms of how the billing, how the invoice comes out. Cave Hill invoice is very detailed. Okay. So with the Cave Hill invoice, you will see exactly how much is the economic cost. With the St. Augustine and Mona, it's a little more unclear, so we have to do the calculation. They will give you the general tuition cost, and we will have to calculate the 80%, and we pay that 80%. And bear in mind, it is the 80% TT, or Jamaican dollar, or Barbados dollar, 66%. So we have to do the other calculation now for the EC equivalent.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
So it is 80% of the Jamaican dollar for the Jamaican candidate, 80% of the TT dollar for the St. Augustine candidate. But at our end, we will convert that for the Ministry of Finance into EC dollar.
Okay.
So now the student will have to find, in the case of Mona and St. Augustine, 20% of the tuition, plus there are some other costs that is not covered by the government. We only dealing with the tuition part of things. Okay. So on the invoicing, you will see a number of costs, smaller costs, you know?
Yeah.
But the tuition cost is what we focus on, and the government will cover in the St. Augustine and the Mona case, 80% of that. And in the Cave Hill case, 66% of that.
Okay, great. We do have a caller. Let's see what this caller wants to ask this morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, GT, and good morning to your guest.
Good morning to you.
I'm just calling to find out, number one, are these courses open to teachers? That's number one. And number two, what arrangements have been made or what have been put into place to ensure that people who get these scholarships serve the country for a period of time? Because it is known that many times people get scholarships and as soon as they complete the scholarship, they just leave the country and go. So what mechanisms would be put in place to ensure that such people would serve the government for a special length of time? Thank you.
Thank you, caller. I respond to the caller.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate your question. Every candidate who receives a scholarship from the government are required to sign a document, actually 3 documents. There is the scholarship agreement and there is the scholarship bond. The bond lays out the conditions of the scholarship as well as the agreement, and the bond document is a legal document that must be completed in the presence of a legal person. So either a lawyer or a JP will have to sign off on that document along with the candidate themselves and 2 guarantors or sureties that goes with them to sign off on the document. Additionally, there is a scholarship award letter that we provide for every candidate that spells out the conditions of the scholarship, and one of the clauses in that letter as well as in the bond document spells out that once the candidate has completed studies that they are required to serve the government of Grenada for a period of time, and the policy on bonding is for the period that you receive the scholarship plus 1 year. In the case of the economic cost, because it is a partial scholarship, these candidates receiving those awards are required to serve for a period of 2 years when they have completed studies. The other part of your question that deals with what do we do, the enforcing part of things, I note that area has been a very gray and worrying area for us at the division as well as government. I want to now impress upon us as nationals, as patriotic Grenadians. I want to do some moral suasion here. It is incumbent on us because scholarships are provided to develop individuals as well as develop country. And if in our heart of hearts we have the love of country as foremost in our minds, then it is on us to ensure that we return to serve. I have received scholarship and I have been here working, and I'm happy to serve. I'm happy to help develop Grenadians. I am hoping and praying that other Grenadians are happy too. And I note that a lot of people complain about our health system, how it's so bad. I have been sitting at a desk where I know the numbers of persons that have received medical scholarships. I am sure all Grenadians, all know of persons in their community, have relatives and so who have received scholarships. Where are these people? What is our role as a responsible Grenadian to encourage your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews and neighbors and students who you would have taught? What have we been doing to encourage those persons to return and to serve and to feel that on this piece of rock we have a stake and we want to see it better and we want to see our people develop and we want to see our country do well?
Okay.
So that is what I will say on that. I will leave it up to our moral responsibility to ensure that we do some of those things. Of course, at our end, we can do more, and the Ministry of Legal Affairs as well as Ministry of Education can do more. But I am saying that this has to be a mindset. We have to love our country. We have to want this place to do well. We have to want to see our investment work for us, because it's a lot of money to send people out there to study. And I could say, because I sit at a place where we process and I see the figures, so I can call a lot of figures, but we have to ensure that we get maximum returns on our investment, because our sending our students out there to study is an investment. It's an investment that all of us has a stake in. Every Grenadian that we pay taxes, every Grenadian pay to have our people go out there and study. How are we encouraging these persons who we have paid for to return, to serve? And that is my response to your question.
All right, great. We do have another caller. Let's see what this caller has to mention this morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Yes, I'm here. Two things. Did Madame say that some applications are not, there's no interview? And that's the first thing. And second thing, and what I'm saying, going to say no, I know for a fact. There are scholarships being given, and for that matter, as she said, some interviews are not conducted. And most of the scholarships are given to friends and relatives. And that is a fact. I mean, I could give her evidence and she could go and research it. So I hope that doesn't continue. It's been continuing for the longest while, past governments and right up to now. People apply for scholarships, never get it, but yet a friend or a family member get it. Right? In any case, all what she said, based on the previous caller, she was right. I agree that they should come back and serve the country. So I wanted to think of that. Scholarships are given by friends and family and who you know. It has nothing to do with the application. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. You want to respond to the caller in any way?
Thank you, caller, for your question. I would love to see your evidence, because at my end, I do not have evidence of that. I know that there is a process, and I have not seen any evidence of that. Maybe you do have, I don't know, but at my end, I don't. We process just as how I state the process here. That is what we have been doing at our division. So you may have evidence to the contrary, which maybe if you do have, you can share with me.
All right. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Now, concerning coming back to serve, I remember in my time, we had to do a bond, and that bond had to be signed by at least two persons guaranteeing that they will return. So perhaps we should go back to those days and enforce it by making those people who signed the bond pay. That is one aspect. Now, my other question is, what is the direction of our scholarships? No, there are scholarships, yes, but we need the country to develop in a certain direction. And how many scholarships do we have, for example, to develop agriculture in Grenada? That is a thing we should have a focus on and direct our attention to getting people to get into agriculture, because whether we like it or not, agriculture is essential. And the question of technical education is crucial, because right now in this country, many things are happening, and we don't seem to have enough technical persons involved in this country. So what do you have for technical education specifically, and agriculture in particular, agriculture and fisheries?
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you, caller. I like how you're thinking, because I believe that the government has listened to and is on par with some of those ideas. Hence the reason we are currently looking at a scholarship strategy. Actually, we're supposed to be meeting next week to conclude on the strategy that will give different pathways to addressing those issues, really the key areas for national development, which agriculture that you mentioned is one of them.
Okay. I have one question from someone asking via the WhatsApp. They say, what happens if you return from studying and have not been absorbed into the system, and it took 7 years after returning to get a job?
I will need to get more information from this client or viewer, because when you say absorb into the system, I would like more clarity.
Okay.
Because sometimes we go to study and when we return, we are not able to be absorbed into the particular field that we've studied. However, you can be useful in other areas. For example, my first degree was in management studies and my master's degree was in policy development. It's an area of management as well. But where I am now, I am doing human resource development. Of course, I'm doing a lot of policy and that kind of thing, but policy is not my main area. So if when I return from studies and I did not get an area to work in policy, will I say I have not been absorbed into the system? And who is responsible for absorbing me into the system? So I have some additional questions for this client that may want to reach out to me, because we may have to have we will have to have further conversations, because I would want to know a little bit more. Okay. This is a little blanket statement that I can't really answer like that, because I will need to dig a little deeper to find out what is the area and why they have not been absorbed into the system, and have they sufficiently make themselves available to be absorbed into a system.
We have one more caller, which will be our final caller for the morning, because we are way over time already. Yes. Let's take this final caller. Caller, my apology for having you on call. You can go ahead with your question, please.
It all being said, everything sounds so nice and dandy all the time, how we always do it. But there's something that we always would like to see, more transparency, because you always get things after the fact in terms of the availability of the scholarships. You only hear it after the fact. Now, is there a way that the Ministry of Education can fast-track that in a more transparent manner through the media houses and so on, so more people can have the information as to what is going on? Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller. I want to bring you back to our information sharing about our emailing system, our mailing list for VIP clients. Very important people. Once you contact us, we invite you to give us some information and you become a member of our VIP list, our mailing list, and we send information directly to you once we receive it. So that will be in addition to GIS and the other media houses who receive our announcement. However, I want to share here that sometimes the information is received from the agency or the country a little bit late. For example, the Romania one only came to us yesterday, and the deadline is already the end of May. Yeah. So our deadline for that one is very short. It is the 28th of May. So I understand, and we too share that experience and concern, because we do note that some of the offers get to us very late, and additionally we have to prepare the announcement and ensure that the public has sufficient information so that they can apply. And sometimes when the information get to us, there are some key things missing, and we have to go back to our principals. And when I say principals here, anything that comes from outside of the country, it goes through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we will have to communicate with them if the information is lacking any key thing that we think the public should know. We have to sort that out first and then put the information out. So we note that concern, and we do share that concern as well. Right. That sometimes we get it late.
I want to add something here. Why don't you join our list so that you can position yourself to receive the information as soon as it launched? we can send it directly to you.
Okay.
Why wait for the information when you can position yourself in front of the wheel like everybody else?
So and basically that is giving your email address or contacting the Human Resource Department so that when scholarships becomes available, you have that direct access to it via email, so you know what's going on. Anything in closing before we wrap up this morning, because we are a little bit over time.
I know we going over time. I just want to share a little bit about the MONO, the government's flagship scholarship program. I must share about that.
Sure, go ahead.
The MONO University, first generation. And the reason why I'm sharing is because sometimes people call and say, oh, they have a first degree already and they want to do. Listeners, viewers, please, this scholarship is only targeting households where there are no persons with university degrees. The intention is that every household must have a university degree. So this one is specific to only households where there are no persons with a university degree. And the other thing I want to share is that you need to do two things. One, apply to the university for the program to get an acceptance letter. That is part of it. The other key thing is that you must apply to the scholarship desk for the scholarship. Because you applying to MONO does not mean that you will get a scholarship. There's an additional process. If you apply to MONO, that is only to get an acceptance letter. You must apply to the scholarship desk for the scholarship for the program. Now you have the letter, but you need the scholarship to pay for the program. Yes? So that's two things. One, you apply to MONO. Two, you apply to the scholarship desk.
Which one you do first?
You do it simultaneous. I'm going to tell you why. Most of the universities there's a process before you get an acceptance.
Okay.
So while you're applying to the university, you contact us. We will send you the application form. As I shared before, information on the front of the form tells you all that you have to do. Once you do that and you have all your documents, you bring that into us because the acceptance letter will take a while to get to you. You have to do an interview and other things with the university before you are accepted. Because for the listeners as well, most universities, you must have at least 5 ordinary levels. CSEC, CXC, O-level, you must have at least 5 to be accepted to the university. So I am thinking for the persons who do not have 5 and who may have other certifications, the university must do a review. So it will take a little while before you get an acceptance. So we're not waiting for all of this because you may miss our deadline. So to not miss our deadline, once you have all the other supporting documents, you bring it into us. Yes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Gabriel, I know you've been listening a whole lot of the conversation this morning. Of course, Ms. Schoon, of course, dominated our conversation a whole lot this morning, but of course, we sorry for that. No, sorry. That was really good for that. Truthful information. Anything in closing before we are?
If persons need further information in regards to our scholarship opportunities, we will greatly appreciate if you reach out to us via email, hrd@moe.edu.gd, or you can call us on 440-692737, 440-2737 or 417-9762.
All right.
Okay?
That's good. Anything in closing?
My closing statement is that I want to encourage our people to read a little more, because a lot of the times we miss key information by not reading. And I also want to encourage persons to make use of the opportunities that are available. There are a lot of opportunities now, a lot more than what we had a year ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There are a lot of opportunities that are available, and I would love to see all these opportunities taken up. I feel badly when we have less than the quota that is given to us. Then when we have less applicants than the quota that is given to us. I believe that we should maximize the use of all the scholarships that are available to us. So I will encourage our listening and viewing public to get in touch with us and to try and maximize the use of the opportunities that are available and to read a little more.
I want to thank you both for being on the program this morning. Fruitful information. I show our listeners and viewers, of course, know have a broader understanding of the process they have to go through, the do's and don'ts, as you would say. And I certainly hope that all who may have, of course, send in their application and so forth, they will become successful. Thank you, Bruno. And I know it's going to be our last time on the program. I need you back again. So
yes,
there's much more that we can
we'll be happy to return, because I know we have a lot more things to discuss. Lots.
All right.
So we'll be happy at any time to return. If we could do it monthly, if we could do it bi-monthly, if we could do it anytime you need us to come, we're available.
All right. So we'll make the necessary arrangements. So
yes.
Thank you both once again, and best wishes for the rest of the day.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great weekend to come.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Hey, folks, that's how we wrap up this edition of To The Point. Join me again on Monday for another edition. Have a good one, folks. Goodbye.